Yeah, first it's just the profile of Chippa United in relation to how difficult it's been for them. They've been in camp in Joburg. They've held all their training sessions at Marks Park, preparing for the league matches, because they're playing all their matches away from home. So from a psychological perspective, we've got to understand that the sacrifices that they have made, of course, gives them a lot of motivation to be able to face the games, because no one wants to sacrifice and then there's no outcome in relation to measuring your sacrifice. So of course, from a mental perspective, they want to fight for the results, and you can see that in their games. When you watch their games, it's very difficult to beat them. Swallows was a very tough match, and they fought to come back. And you could see even the coach making an early change with Kongobe coming in for Ryan Ray as a six. But they've got a clear profile in relation to how the coach wants them to play. We all know the philosophy of Coach Dan's is a clear model of play that is based around having possession and dominating the ball, and always creating possibilities for people on the ball to give enough ball coverage and possibilities for ball retention. And that becomes the first priority for everybody on the ball, and we've got to understand that first, because then the principles then influence the strategy, because the principles are ball retention, and then our strategy will have to apply. But yeah, it's a clear structure with building up from the back, and Umchali is always looking for possibilities to play through ama center halves and Tlapo, Etsaviumva, and then getting that single pivot in Kongobe to be able to link the midfield and try to find Mbenyani, who plays as a 10, or the inverted wingers that come in just slightly behind Quem. So we know the profile, and we've done a lot of work, and we'll see how we are able to control them. But at the same time, we want to dominate you at home and try to find possibilities to find the spaces that they, in the structure, they present, but also the spaces that we can manipulate them to create in relation to how we want to play. So that's how we foresee the game. Yeah, it was a tough match for us. Black Leopards always away from home. The traveling, the pitch, these are already factors that are against you, and they influence performance. But then the difficulty of having to dig deeper in relation to being 1-0 down, and then we found the equalizer. And once we found the equalizer, you could see even from the players, we scored, and immediately their reaction was to say, let's find the ball and let's chase the ball and take it from the net and go again and try and find the winner. And we squeezed everything that we had in relation to that, and then we suffered that dismissal when we were caught a little bit on the transition, and our structure behind the ball in the rest defense was not good, and then Toby was exposed, well, it is what it is, and we dug deep, but credit to the players, credit to the players for showing mental resolve and for showing championship mentality. I think this is what you find in terms of the culture of Mamelodi Sundowns. It's a culture that the players have of not being satisfied with the equalizer, but really going even against all odds to look for the winner and digging even deeper in relation to all the setbacks that they face. And this is the culture that has been set at Sundowns, and kudos to the players. They deserve a lot of praise, and really in difficult moments they've always been able to dig deep and show mental resolve and championship mentality to go against all these other setbacks and be able to get a very, very important result and dig deep, particularly when you come from a run of results where you haven't won a match, you scored one, but you're going into a situation where you're probably going to get your fourth draw, but you go into a situation where you fight for the win. And that is a huge compliment to the players and big kudos to them. It was important for us to try to get back into Joburg as quickly as possible, because we don't have enough time to give the players. Normally, from a scientific perspective, you need about 48 hours to recover from matches. But if you take into consideration the heavy pitch, you take into consideration the travelling in between the match, before and after the match, then you know that probably you need about 72 hours to really get lactic acid out and all other waste products and then refresh the body. So we're thinking more in relation to freshness and recovery in this moment, and it will probably take us a little bit longer. You cover more ground when you're one-man short. The pitch is a lot softer, and then it's a little bit more of a load on the legs. And then you've got the travelling. So from that perspective, the match and the other sort of physiological elements that affect the load, you then think really in relation to that, and that's our thinking going into Chippa, is to make sure that we recover proper and we've got the right sort of physiological freshness to be able to deal with a team that retains a lot of possession, a team that will force us to be very active with our intensity without the ball. So it's very, very important for us, and well, the games come in thick and fast, so we've got to make sure that we are ready for that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Good day, Coach. Your thoughts on the team's performance since returning to Chippa United?
Well, it's a building phase. We are not doing bad, but we are not doing extremely well. We need to get to situations where we can up our performances, and we still have to find the right combinations in terms of playing personnel. We are almost 3/4 there. Obviously, I mean for different matches. When we play, we need to know who we're supposed to put in and who we're supposed to play. So yeah, it's not looking bad. It's looking very good with the points that we've accumulated so far. Yeah, we are building. We are building.
Yeah, nicely that you spoke about you are building. It seems like the current squad that you've got, it's responding well to your philosophy.
Yeah, well, I try and see that whatever player I have or I work with, the game is simplified so that it doesn't become a burden, it doesn't become too heavy on him, or it doesn't become too much of a challenge. We try and simplify things, and that's why the response from the players.
Obviously, coming back, the plan was to save the club status, and now there's a possibility of a top 8. And since you are the last coach to get Chippa United to the top 8, are you also looking into that?
Yeah, well, if you don't set your standards high, and you look for mediocrity, you'll always get mediocrity. So we should push ourselves a bit higher than where we are now, and work with that and see how far we can get. If we get into the top 8 bracket, let's see how far we can get within the top 8.
Yeah, and your thoughts on the Sunday game against Sundowns? What do you think will benefit you, or how do you plan to get a favorable result?
Yeah, top of the log team. Obviously, they're doing well. You know, a number of players have been there together. It's going to be a big challenge for us, but a challenge that I think we can manage, and we also will not sit back. We just going to dish out some things from our side and see where the game leads. I'm not one to speak too much about matches before we even kick off. I just like us to play and see where we are. Then a lot of things can be fixed at half time, you know, but you obviously want to have a good first half and see where you can fix in during the half time.
And will the postponement of the Wednesday game against Celtic come in handy in terms of giving Chippa United more time to prepare for Sunday's showdown?
Well, I always think there's a good reason for everything that doesn't happen or happens, you know. There must be a reason why we didn't play. Maybe we needed to have a bit of a break because we've been traveling a lot, you know. So maybe the players needed time traveling and playing, that's what I mean. And we would have played in the rain again because we played the previous match in the rain. So if we played Celtics, we would have played in the rain and probably would have taken a lot out of the legs. But obviously we saved a bit, you know, so hopefully it's for a good reason.
And lastly, Coach, do you have any injury concerns?
Yeah, we do. I'm just waiting for the last minute to see whether these people can recover or not.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Sure.